Okie dokie, unscheduled stream. We've got our guest this week. Now I have to get the join link. Okay, send it to Charlie. I need caffeine. Oh, shite. I need my recorder. God damn it. And I'm back. Hello, Madam Butterfly. Me again. Our special guest, Justin. We're recording a special thing for Charlie's Laserdisc channel. Raise, yes. What the fuck? This is all Charlie's doing. We are apparently having a sit-down chat with Tim Ferguson of Doug Anthony All-Stars fame. Didn't quite come together last week, but it is apparently happening nowish. Thanks, Race. Wow, I really needed that caffeine. I'm going to go get... No, the room does not look any different during the day because very heavy curtains. Hey, Greg. Now Charlie has gone AWOL. What's he doing? I am going to get some more ice. Charlie suddenly appears. I really needed this drink. Okay, I've got more ice. Armstrong, hello. How are you? Sorry, did you just come into an empty room? I was going to get ice, if you missed that. If it even matters to you. That's a lot of alcoholic beverages. Whiskey shelf, gin shelf, rum and agave spirits shelf, mix and matches. There's some brandies, absinthe, odd things, and all the liqueurs are in that cupboard. So that's half the collection. So waiting for a guest to join. And I'm not sure what's happened to Charlie. Okay. I was chatting with him on Discord a few minutes ago. Yeah, I know. Armstrong, I'm a compulsive collector, and once I got into cocktails, it was all over. Like at various points in my life, it's been vinyl records, books, comics. When I was a kid, Star Wars toys. Yeah, what like the original recipe. So I'll have one Scotch whiskey and one bourbon. Oh no, thanks Armstrong. I also have cocktail themed shirts. Oh no, Race, your vape ran out. That is a major problem. Oh my god. Here we go. This, by the way, is just Pepsi. Oh, feels really good though. Stayed up a little late last night / this morning. And that's just going down a treat. I'm enjoying the beverage so much. That's why I went and got some extra ice. Because I'm definitely going to pour myself another beverage. Armstrong, you're a Coke? You're a Coke person. That's okay. We'll have a thing. I just made a decision. Oh, okay. Here we go. Here's
When you need it to work. Oh, you're already. I can see you on Facebook.
There you go. Yeah. So I'm here.
I thought this was going to be just two of us. No, that's cool. I'm glad you're streaming. That's good. Okay.
Okay. I just started the stream. Yeah.
No. That's what we did last week too. So
Yeah.
it's perfect. Yeah. All right. I'm going to send Tim the link.
Yeah. Alrighty. So our special guest is hopefully joining us in a few minutes. Oh, can't believe how much I needed that cola. It doesn't usually taste that good. Are you holding very still, Charlie, or did your screen freeze? Oh, you're back. Okay. You were in this really thoughtful pose, and it was there for like 30 seconds before I realized it hadn't. You were going, and I thought you just seemed really.
You frozen on my end now too. So
okay.
But you're doing this kind of finger right under the chin kind of look, like.
Okay, well, obviously that's a cursed pose because that's what you were doing when you froze on mine. Have I unfroze? It seems fine at my end. How's it going at your end?
Yeah, it as long as it works on the YouTube stream, then I can put up with you doing this for the whole thing. I don't mind, just.
Oh, also, yeah, it's a bit late to do it now, but I can record through StreamYard as well and get a.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, what I do is I found, and I've got an app I bought for when I started doing these shows called YouTube 4K Downloader. And, YouTube's always trying to get one step ahead of them to stop them from working.
Yeah.
So they go down about one day every month. But then they come up with an update and it's all fixed again. So, I'm okay with it.
Oh, yeah,
there you are, streaming on. Okay, I see you streaming on YouTube now,
baby.
You got Rays. Hi, Rays.
All right. Get a secondary beverage.
Yep, just keep an eye on that back end to see if he's joined and stuff, And
Get my recorder ready.
yes, I've got that ready to go too. Oh, actually, I might switch to headphones as well.
Okay. Oh yeah, I have to turn volume down.
Yep.
That should be fine.
Yeah, because I'm going to have to use the StreamYard feed this week because,
okay.
as well as ours, because of the third person, I can't ask him to record as well. You know, like.
All right.
Yep. My favorite camera angle. I like this one. Nice.
You hear widescreen?
I like wide screens, and I cannot lie. So, what did you get up to? You just went straight to bed last night?
Yeah, I woke up at about 8:30. So what was that? 7 hours after leaving the stream. Did my usual bacon baguette. Been trying to organize, cleaned the bar for. It's actually clean. It wouldn't always be this early on a Saturday.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Did my laundry.
I did the same. First thing, got up, cleaned the background behind me. Yeah.
Yeah, your background's clean too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Harvested some of my clear ice. That was ready just in time. And my wordy, I'm probably having a nap when we finish this. No, I might have some lunch after we do this, and then I think I'm probably having a nap.
I am going to watch that Portrait of a Woman on Fire movie. The fact you've been talking that up all week means
now I feel bad. I hate when a movie gets talked up too much.
No. I don't do that. You know me better than that.
It is actually a very low-key movie. Like, how would I?
It's hit you so hard that you haven't stopped talking about it all week, though. So there's got to be something special about it, that's made you.
Oh, it's a very good film. I'm trying to think of a way to describe it. It's like, we're so used to blockbusters with really high stakes, like, it's the end of the world or someone's going to die. It's a very low stakes movie, but just intensely personal. It's, because it's just not about the end of the world or saving someone's life or rescuing someone from kidnappers. But yeah, it's just really well shot. It's one of those ones where also I think, like, the film nerd in my brain's going into overdrive with, ooh, the way they did that. Ooh, that shot. Ooh, and just going like, they're really going for it here, and it's just like, it's that one where you really become really conscious of the quality,
true intelligence behind the lens.
Yeah. It's but yes, I know I might cleanse my brain with the trashy one on the plane.
Oh yeah, fight or flight. Yeah, that's going to be some nice fun. Yeah, that's exactly why I recommended it.
Yeah,
it's just sometimes you need a bloke's dad film. A dad film. Yeah.
Have you seen the Brad Pitt film Bullet Train?
Yeah.
I feel like the way you described it, it's like Bullet Train, but it's on a plane.
In a plane, yeah, where assassins are trying to kill you and you're trapped in this tight space. It's exactly what Bullet Train was, yeah.
God, speaking of which, I still have never watched Snakes on a Plane.
I watched it once. I was not a fan of it.
No, it's not a good movie.
No. I enjoy shit movies, right? But I did not really get into. Look at the outfit. You can tell I'm prepared for only upwards.
That's like doing work meetings with no pants on. No one knows. There's always the joke that TV news anchors with these immaculate suits and whatnot were wearing, like board shorts under the desk because they're only ever seen from here up. Safa, our guest is apparently coming. We're just waiting for him to join.
Yeah, he wrote back to us. I did a confirmation email I sent at the top of the hour, and I was. It got to. He replied at 57 minutes past, saying, "Yep, I'm still on," and I'm sitting there up until minute 56, going,
Yeah.
He's not going to come back. He's not going to come back. I know it. He's going to cancel again.
Yes. Also, you gotta not beat yourself up if something doesn't work out. It's just like,
no, I'm not. Look, if it doesn't, I'm okay. Like I said, if it doesn't work out, we'll go back to Sunday. It's done. If it does today, great. We'll still do it. I guess we'll still do it today, no matter what, right?
Yeah.
Over here,
God, I was just going to have a whole rant about the worst thing that didn't go right for me. That was just astronomically expensive. I could get on a little
YouTube gathering.
Sorry?
That YouTube gathering.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a bitch.
Cost me over $20,000 directly, and it cost me over $100,000 in lost wages. And I got zero fucking thanks, zero fucking respect, zero fucking support. And that's when YouTube weren't as bad as they are now.
Yeah.
But I had some people from YouTube actively working against me, and it was just like, get absolutely fucked. What do you mean insurance on the meetups? I mean, what the fuck are you talking about? Sorry, just my suggestion would be not to say anything about it, Safa. It is literally one of my sorest sore points, and I'm likely
to... Can you hear a cat?
Yes.
Is that your end?
My cat.
Okay.
She is very loud when she wants attention. No, but I'm just saying, you cannot possibly say anything of any help. You can only piss me off. And you're not pissing me off. Me thinking about the event is getting me pissed off. So I'm going to tell Shadow to fuck off, honestly. What is she doing? She's just out in the hallway meowing. Just give me a sec. Still no Sam. Well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm keeping an eye out for the studio chat thing.
Ridiculous bloody cat. I swear to God, if she starts up again, got some hoon driving up my street. That's so rare.
Yeah, I can hear that too. I can hear so much more coming out of your microphone with the headphone in my ear compared to usual.
Safa, apparently the thing I'm using on the possums will upset cats. In fact, some people do it deliberately to keep cats and dogs out of their yard. God, she's at it again. Swear to God.
Can the cat hear the Sonic Youth?
Well, it's very directional. So it's up in the roof, so they're fine. Like there's a different possum in the wall in our shed, and I was thinking of taking the device into the shed and pointing at the wall, but then it would be pointing at the wall where we sit on the lounge, and I don't know if the ultrasonics would penetrate the wall, or if the wall would stop. And it would be the old 100% method of try it and find out. And also, because Mrs. Angry's lad has the pigeons, it's supposed to scare birds off too. So the funny thing is, Safa, I don't know where to get one. Mrs. Angry doesn't know where to. She had. I'll show you the box. The package. You can see how old the product is.
$72 each.
The packaging is so old.
There's 72.
Go get the box and also chase Shadow
There we go.
outside.
Yeah, $72 each. They're called the Animal Away Plus Ultrasonic Pest Scarer. And they go up to $189 depending on which model you have. Sorry, I drank coffee and I went down the wrong pipe. Sorry about this, guys. I don't mean to be rude on camera. Woo!
Oh, okay. Also, good
Waking
idea
up.
I went out because Shadow was trapped in the bedroom with the robot. Mrs. Angry had set the vacuum robot going,
Oh,
and Shadow was in
that
the room.
would have
That's why
freaked
she's
the
meowing
fuck out of the
really
cat.
loudly, because she was trapped with the robot and she doesn't like it. Safa, I slept incredibly soundly.
Star Wars discs. Are they in the room still behind you?
No, okay, I'll get them.
Don't worry about it. Hey. It's fine.
What?
We don't need them. We don't need
No,
them.
but
It's fine.
I can just go.
All right. I had a terrible fucking sleep last night. I decided so after the stream I decided to watch a movie called Superhero Movie. And I found it funny that Superhero Movie is actually written by the same guy that wrote that TV show Chernobyl, and he also wrote another TV show called The Last of Us. So I'm like, okay, maybe this superhero movie is not that bad. Maybe it's one of the more interesting or funny, of those, movies, like, because they're usually pretty shit, like everything after like Scary Movie 2 just started going downhill, Date Movie and all that shit. Like they had that fantasy one and, Anyway, so this one, Superhero Movie, had a good writer, so I'm like, okay, I'll give it a go. And I end up watching it, and there was some funny moments, but it was still... I think I blame those movies for killing stupid movies at the cinema. Like, we no longer have, we rarely have them. We got Naked Gun last year, which was amazing, and we got Spaceballs 2 coming up next year and stuff like that, which is cool. But yeah, we very rarely get actual, just straight up and down comedy only movies. It's always comedy with, like a drama film or an action film with a comedy sidekick. And that's all we get. I just want a stupid movie sometimes, like that Fuck 'em Hall, like that's stupid, but thank God, like, because everything's so serious nowadays in this world, like we've got a freaking war going on. I need to have something fun and stupid to turn my brain off to anyway. So I watched a superhero movie, and it's a good drunk man's film. I'll be honest. I had fun being drunk and watching superhero movie. And then I got Hungry Jack's because I'm drunk, and I got onto DoorDash and decided to order. And Sophie hadn't had dinner yet either, so I was just hooking Sophie up with some dinner. And then I ate Hungry Jack's, and then I went instantly like, oh, fuck, I'm out. Like, and went to bed, and then woke up at 6 o'clock this morning, oh, shit, am I late? Oh, God, am I going to be late? Like, and then look at the clock, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I've still got 2 hours. Relax, dude, And came in and then cleaned up out here and made a coffee and stuff like that. And I haven't done my exercises yet, so I haven't got my body kind of going. I feel like I'm sitting here just doing this kind of trying to wake up,
Okay,
And yeah. What did I get at Hungry Jack's? I got okay. So at the moment, I don't know if you guys have been keeping up with the socials, but there's been this funny video that came out last week of the CEO of McDonald's showing off the new McArch, right? Which is a burger we've had here in Australia for a few months, but they're introducing it to America. And this guy took the burger and he took this tiniest little bite, like he knew something was in that burger that we don't know.
It's made of people.
Oh, it's made of shit, you know.
That was very funny. Yeah.
So
it was. Oh god, he's just been savaged online for it. It's just like
yeah,
the
since
guy who
then,
does
just
not
about
want to eat this.
yeah, since then, every single CEO has come along of every single other burger company and gone, look at this burger.
Oh, Tim's entering the studio.
Guys,
good.
how are we going?
Tim,
Here he is.
hello. Nice to see you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Sorry about last week.
Oh, stuff
No,
happens.
that's
I'm not
fine.
in charge of my calendar. It's in the hands of my betters.
That's fair.
Is there any way I can blur the background of my
Yes.
screen?
Okay.
What is it?
So down the bottom, there's a button that looks like a camera. And then if you click on it, it brings an arrow up and it shows the little, you know, what camera you're using. And then in there, there's a picture that says virtual background settings.
Ah, yeah. Aha. Yeah, there we go. What shall we pick?
I've seen that background in another video that you did.
Here we go. Let's try one of it. Looks exotic enough. No, that's the same place.
No, that's just brightened up the background that you've got. Oh,
There
there
you
you
Oh,
go.
there we go.
Another brick
I'm
in the
in
wall.
jail. Perfect. Yeah, thanks for having me in, guys. How's it all going in the land of science fiction appreciation? I wish I'd spent more time in there.
I was very excited to hear what a Star Wars fan you were, Tim. I didn't actually realize.
Yeah, I cottoned on to Star Wars before any of my friends heard about it. I remember seeing one of the first Star Wars evenings at Hoyt's on George Street in Sydney. I was all by myself. I'd just come down from the country and went to see movie after movie. But of course, it was the perfect period to be watching movies. All the great movies America is ever going to make are already being made. They're done. You've got Rocky, you've got Dog Day Afternoon, you've got, I mean, everything in 1975 is impressive enough.
Hmm.
Mm.
And America is still trying to work out what we do back then.
Yeah,
There's
and now
gotta
they're
be
just making legacy sequels and stuff, aren't they?
Yeah. So Kramer versus Kramer, it's really hard to make a sequel.
Legacy sequel.
Because they end up divorced. What's she gonna do? Turn around and say, you know, Dustin, you're not as short as I think. So it's so it's really quite amazing. I mean, you know, there've been other great films, A Few Good Men and those kind of things, but it was the second golden period of Hollywood. And we haven't got a new one yet, but hopefully if we give enough power to big corporations, that's what they will be after.
Yeah, big corporations will fix everything.
Yeah, because they know about it, because they can access it on their AI and you can say, well, a good story or a good way to get Kramer and Kramer back together. And it could give you options with bullet points, you know, some words in bold if you ask it. But seeing Star Wars, which was your question, I turned around and went straight back in to watch it again because I'd never seen or heard of anything like even that opening shot where the big spaceship just goes on and on, parodied beautifully by Mel Brooks. in Spaceballs, where the spaceship goes on like for 3 minutes of spaceship.
Yeah.
But it changed some parts of Hollywood, but it also changed some back. And so what was I? I was 14 years old, and given all the turmoil of the films that had been made, the emotional One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, people getting their brains blown out and all that exciting stuff, all of a sudden, there was something in it I recognized, which I hadn't seen since I was a kid, which was the adventure. There's a guy who's just like you and me. There's a girl who's royal. He hangs around a pirate, and some guy, Harry, who doesn't talk, who's in One Nation. And somehow people can understand him. I guess, when One Nation goes on Sky News, it's the same thing. They go, and the host either interprets what they want to hear or they actually understand them. But it was as I later learned, the Vogler Campbell 3-act hero's journey story pattern taken from Aristotle that remains the best story template and the most reliable story template.
Yeah,
but I
classic.
I thought, this is cowboys in space, and I wasn't the first person to think that.
Mm-hmm. When I'm loading in Laserdisc into my shop, one of the jobs I've got to do is click all the genres. And when it comes to Star Wars, it's like I'm almost clicking every single genre in the book in one movie.
Yeah. And I don't think the new writers of Star Wars have heard of 3-act stories, Vogler Campbell, or characters that need to learn how to become the most powerful, amazing acrobat with a lightsaber that ever existed. But it's okay, let them screw it up. In 50 years, someone will say, what's it called? Why don't we just remake the original, and away we go? But, it's good that people allow their kids to write for gigantic franchises. Let 15-year-olds write Star Trek. Might as well learn the hard way.
You throw them in the deep end.
Yeah. But it's
Yeah.
the main thing I like about Star Wars is the toys, because as soon as I saw those toys, I didn't have to be told, because I was a kid, that there are no toys like this on the planet. No one's done this. The most cumbersome, gangly, ugly, big chunks of plastic that couldn't even be picked up and zoomed around, they were so big, were a reinvention of what toys are. And so while all my cool mates, famous comedians and musicians are all hanging around just being so cool, while they were all laughing at me, I was quietly picking up Star Wars toys because everybody was throwing them out. Mums are responsible for the greatest toy genocides every year.
Consoles. Yeah.
It's mothers. Dads wouldn't throw that stuff out. Who's got the energy? And the kid seems to like it, even though he's 19. But mum moves in, and the next thing you know, a toy everybody had is now valuable because everybody wants it back. So my advice to my students is, look, if you've got any money at all, they don't, but if you can steal any money at all, today it's to buy Labubus. Put $1,000 into Boo-Boos, buy a big box, all as many different kinds as you can get, and put it in the fridge. And in 20 years,
and Pokemon cards.
Yeah. Kind of goes I used to go to Toys R Us, and I was treating it like the stock exchange, going, oh, I don't know, those Power Rangers, I reckon there's still a couple of bucks we can wait. And sure enough, down it would go. And the week before they sent the toys off the shelves, I'd swoop and I'd buy a whole bunch of whatever the kids were watching and put them in storage. And now, I mean, Power Rangers, crazy. Not that I do it for the money. I just like doing it as a retirement plan.
For the love of the
A
game.
lot of my video games are like that. I invested in a lot of video games back in the early 2000s when it was all getting very cheap.
Oh,
And
wow.
now
Yeah.
it's incredible how much they've shot up in the last 20 years.
Oh, yeah. N64.
Mm-hmm. Sega Saturn.
I had the whole N64 thing.
Mm-hmm.
But there was too much of it and I couldn't pack it away, and I wasn't sure if the games would corrode. But
Yes.
someone to fix them now. But an original N64 game is worth several times what it cost.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, toys are regarded as more reliable than real estate or ETF shares or gold, in fact, because there's nothing like nostalgia to make someone who's just turned 35 and now has money to say, damn it, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go get those Pokemon cards.
Yeah, when you've got the money, you can do what you like.
Yeah. And they just go and get them just so they can relive whatever it was the Pokemon gave them. So this, like, Labubu is happening right now, but there'll be other stuff. You just need to go to Kmart and see what the kids are buying and grab a bunch of it. And if there's Star Wars movies, buy the female protagonist toys. And
yeah, because
why
they're the
would you
ones
do
that nobody
this?
would buy. Yeah.
Nobody buys, but everybody wants a complete collection.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of that, they come back and go, "Oh, do I have to have a Ray? Yeah, you got to have a Ray. She was the star of the thing."
Mm.
Okay, all right. Put Ray. But that's the thing. The Vogler Campbell, jumping topics. Vogler Campbell is two guys who agreed on how a story can work, thanks to Aristotle's work. Mentioned that characters have to earn their skills. If a character is going to have a new skill in Act 3, we have to see them in the first half of Act 2 picking up the skills. Having Obi-Wan Kenobi say, yes, try out the lightsaber. It's good, isn't it? Yeah. Your dad gave me this. Oh, did he? Right. Let's not talk about how. But it's, which is why even people who didn't know knew that it was a bit convenient that Daisy's character in Star Wars Awakens was just so amazing. She could jump 60 feet in the air. She'd gone from scrubbing objects she'd stolen from old relics, and the next thing you know, she can fly, understand, and control a Millennium Falcon. She can fix a Millennium Falcon. How did this happen? What? You went from being a scavenger of old Star Wars junk to Mary Sue, as they call these characters, male or female. And the political reasons for that happening, of course, were that you can't have a young character having how to operate a lightsaber, which has to be the most dangerous weapon ever invented. you can't have them being mansplained as to how it works. Have some guy, some Obi-Wan say, oh, there's a button on the side. If you press that button, you can't have that. So she wakes up and she can magically dance in the air, do kung fu, everything. And, well, we've seen what Star Wars is today. As soon as they put Vogler Campbell aside and say, you're all 12? Come on in. Have you ever used a laptop before? Write a script, a fresh script that young people want to see. It's like asking young people what they want to have when all your friends are coming over for dinner.
Okay, so I do agree with you with the main series of Star Wars films, but I thought Rogue One was absolutely fantastic.
Oh, that was genius.
It's my favorite.
For me, it goes Empire, Rogue One, yada, yada, yada. It's
wow.
Such a great
film. Yep.
But she learns too. She gets taught, and we see who's been teaching her. She's been, inculcated by the rebels, otherwise known as the displaced monarchy, which people don't talk about. Rogue One was wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
But now, and it was a great idea of having an entirely lesbian planet in Star Wars. Why not? Get it out there. For starters, it's fun. And, it's kind of interesting. And it's so appropriate to the Aristotle format. Oh, hang on, scratch that last bit. But yeah, Rogue One was great. What a great story. And again, a bit like those 70s films, you can't make another one. There's only one Rogue One. You can't say, well, after they died, their ghosts got together and bought a spaceship.
They also did an excellent job with the prequel series Andor. That was incredible.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Oh, you're not a fan of Andor? That's okay.
I watched an episode of Series 1 and then Series 2, and I don't know. I figure it's a movie franchise.
Yeah.
You need to get the full Vogler Campbell. Yeah. I'm just prudish. You need the full 90 minutes, 2 hours to cover the whole thing. But, Andor is fine, but it doesn't have much to do with Star Wars. You could swap everything and put it in the Starship Enterprise, and not much would be changed because they're cookie cutting. And it's being things like that are cookie cut again by 12-year-olds who are allowed in the room to express their opinions from kids about really important things. I work with young people, but only to teach them not to listen to them. I don't want people
I love your visions of all the Hollywood writer rooms just being full of children throwing mud against the wall and say, do that.
Yeah. It's like, no, leave us to it. We'll be fine. And because working with young people is always interesting because you get to see what new ideas they're having. But it's important to remember they're not complete ideas. No 22-year-old is going to bring in a script and say, that's it, it's done, and it works, because they don't know. Nobody knows. So it's, but it's be interesting to hear how they're dealing with AI, what they're expecting from all that stuff, and the end of the world, which, is going to happen or sometime next year, probably. I don't know. We'll wait for the Jehovah's to tell us.
We had a good run,
We had a good run, humanity.
Here and there, yeah.
And it was one Epstein Island, and the world's going to be destroyed because one guy did something on an Epstein Island and he doesn't want anybody to look at it.
Right.
What are they calling it?
Distraction.
Operation Epstein Fury. But
it's a hell of a thing.
yeah. But yeah, how did you guys get into the Star Wars in particular? But
Well, I'm of a similar vintage to you, Tim, and so as a kid, you know what I remember, because that was back when there was a huge delay of something coming to Australia. Like it was 4 or 5 months between when it was released in the US and when it was released here. So we
oh
just
yeah,
had so much hype for it. And I remember watching teasers and stuff on TV, talking about how big it was. And it was so different. The visuals were so different. I couldn't process it as going, I don't know how that I've got to see this. And it was just so different. That was what I remember. And
that's
I was
very
instantly
true.
like, I had a bunch of the little figurines. You were talking about mums throwing out. I literally had a girlfriend give an ultimatum of, I'm not hanging around if you got those things. And I
So
was
how did you say goodbye to her?
no, I was 20 and really horny, and so that they got
The
given to
boys
a little
couldn't
cousin.
help you? Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, bad girlfriend. Where is she now? You know, she's in Centrelink.
Haven't seen her in many a decade.
Yeah, in Centrelink on her phone, looking at how much you can get for a Star Wars yak face figure. Well, they've gone up, she thinks. Oh, I'm pretty sure I've seen one of those. But
I
where is
remember-
the yak face?
I actually, when they did the special versions and gave them a cinema run, when the first special editions, I actually saw A New Hope special edition in the cinema, and it was, there were no kids. It was all people who were kids when the first one came out, and it was so much fun. The thing I remember, first time Leia was on screen, some guy shouted, "I love you, Leia," and then the first time Luke was on screen, a girl called out, "I love you, Luke," and then in the cantina, someone goes, "I love you, Chewie."
Well, there's always one.
There's always one.
You
They
take
call
what
them
you can get.
furries. Yeah.
Yeah, and if the others are taken, then he just stuck with the robots, so we've got those anyway.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. It's. I'm sure someone's done a study on young people who like science fiction and whether they have higher IQs and greater creativity. I'm willing to give a guesswork statistic right now. 100%.
Oh yeah, definitely fuel of creativity and creative thinking. I would agree with you completely.
Yeah, and do they get laid? No, but that's it's going to happen later.
Yeah, you just got to be patient.
You just have to be patient. Just buy the toys. Before, when I took my wife, she came around to my house and I had to say, "You do like me, don't you?" And she said, "Yeah." And I opened the door and she went, "Oh, now I see. Yeah." You didn't mention any of wall-to-wall toys.
Yeah.
Still,
Was
no.
third biggest in the Southern Hemisphere, they said on Wikipedia.
How do they get that statistic?
I know,
Still no
right?
Planet of the Apes toys. Still none. Because they brought some out, but it was before Star Wars. So they figured, we'll just have a few ape toys, but that was about it. But that's what I'd really like to collect, these Planet of the Apes toys, only because no one's got them. I got all the Dune toys because I figured no one's talking about this film. No one gets it. But the toys are great. You have Sting wearing the black Fade Routher outfit, and he's got a little cat in a box, in a cage, and it's part of the ensemble. Now, who else is going to bring out man with cat being tortured in a cage toys. Nobody. I figured that one in particular, but the Baron Hong Harkonnen one was great and looked like the actor, and so I grabbed all of those, figuring no one's ever going to want these, but I liked them, and I don't get them anymore much, but I only ever liked the toys. I mean, bought the toys that I liked just because nobody, and I was hanging around in the 90s, definitely, with the coolest people available. And none of them had even heard of this. A couple of them saw some of my toys and said, "Oh, that's, yeah, Alien. That was quite a while ago, though." Yeah, and I've got, big Alien. A big one is over a foot tall, and he glows in the dark. So it was, people looked at it with curiosity, but no interest. I kept telling them, "You've got to get onto this." But they didn't
So that
listen.
nostalgia market, was that a thing back in the 90s like it is now?
Only for things like Mickey Mouse toys from pre-war. They were being collected, but also a lot of die-cast cars and sometimes things like the Green Hornet car, which was so cool. You press this and the turret comes up and that sort of stuff. But it was a pretty small band of single guys hanging around specialist collectible shops. So, but nobody was
comic
really
books,
looking at it. And then I started going to fairs in the UK, which were toy fairs in these big barns where there was amazing stuff. I remember going around and I saw this submarine from the original Disney 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Was it 20 or 40?
I think 20.
Either way, it was deep.
20,000 Leagues, yeah.
Right, and there it was in its box, mint condition. I just thought, oh man, I'm going to come back. Nobody's going to want that. I thought, I'm going to come back, and there it was. A woman had it, and she just bought it. And I said, "How much do you pay for it?" And she said, "Whatever it was." And I said, "I'll give you double." And she thought, well, this guy really is an idiot. So yeah, I just gave her the cash and took the toy because I figured it was not that it was so rare, but also I figured, who collects that? But in the future, someone's going to look at it and see, this is a hell of a toy. And it worked. It had a little cork thing you put on the top and you wind up the propellers and round the bath it would go. And yeah, things like that. I don't care that it's daggy, because I was tall, dark, handsome, rich, and famous. I didn't have to worry about people saying, "Watch out, he's a nerd." Like, who cares? And look at them now, sitting in Centrelink, watching the buses go past, thinking, "I'm waiting for a cheap one." And all they had to do was buy 10 yak faces and wait.
It's a good plan.
Yes, it was, because I was always thinking ahead, and also part of it was having a contrary nature. Like, I'm hanging around the Doug Anthony All-Stars, and they're all rolling their eyes when we turn up in a country town, and I go straight round to
the op shops,
Vincent's, and come back with a plastic shopping bag. They're rolling their eyes, saying, "You just don't do that if fans." If there are fans and they see you going and buying dolls, they're not dolls. But yeah, it's. But in terms of, like, if you were going to write a science fiction, people are kind of limited in the way they look at it. And I've got only over the last 20 years, there've only been 4 or 5 students who've really gotten into a science fiction script. And 3 of them now live in LA and they write for all the big companies because not many people start wanting to write these kind of franchises. So they all get collected. People read their short film scripts and say, well, we're making a new Star Trek series or Farscape or whatever it might be. But it's if you have someone watching, dear watcher, it's worth considering that, yes, we're going into an artificial intelligence future. And before it destroys the world, it's worth looking at artificial intelligence in a way that nobody else is looking at it. I don't know what it is, but at the moment, there are people writing scripts where artificial intelligence takes over the banking system. Okay, artificial intelligence takes over this. It destroyed. The Terminators come back and blah, 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 blah. And that stuff's great fun. Love Terminator. But it's worth thinking if you want to make something of whether there is something beyond the beyond that everybody's considering. For example, and it's starting to pop up a little, emotional artificial intelligence. What is that? People are starting to get therapy on their phones. You can't tell me a therapist, an AI therapist on a vulnerable person's phone is not something that could start a story. Have you done stuff with ChatGPT?
Oh, yeah, it's a fun toy.
And it tells you you're so brave. You say,
oh, right, yeah, it talks you up all the time.
Yeah, what is the moon? That's a very brave question. Very interesting.
Yeah.
What a fascinating person you must be to ask me, what is the moon?
On one of our late night streams, I had ChatGPT on. I said, I'm going to try and get ChatGPT to tell me to start a cult. And I was saying, like, am I thinking innovative thoughts? Can I lead people? And it's going, you're great. You're one of a kind. And it's going to tell me to start a cult. It never quite told me to start a cult, but it was very sycophantic.
Did it say, are you enigmatic? And you say, yes. I've been waiting for someone to ask.
Yeah.
So everybody's very familiar with that stuff, but if you want to incorporate it into narrative, read Vogler Campbell, and with 1,000 Faces, or the Campbell one, which I think he does a breakdown of Star Wars in one of his books. Read that and make it happen with a new idea that will end up inevitable. It's science fiction. Look at our phones. Gee, we never saw that anywhere except Star Trek. It's worth thinking about. What else can artificial intelligence be? What if you combine psychic powers with artificial intelligence? Of course, we're making it up as we go along. I mean, it's fiction, but that's why people turn on. They go, this is an interesting combination. The AI can kind of messily read minds. It can talk to the dead, or whatever psychics do. Who knows? We're busy.
Yeah, if you gave it the right data set, it can convincingly do quite a lot of things.
Yeah. So if you want to put it in a narrative, you just have to pick that one thing that's different or new. The combination, which is what worked in Terminator, combination between a mammal, probably, and a machine that gave us Terminator. But what else can it do? So there's Yeah, it's interesting. There's more interesting writing happening in Australia now, and I think it's because it's just a new generation of people. The what are they called? The Gen Xers was just misery. They were just like, well, it's just not fair. So what's your script about? It's just how everything's just not fair, and everything's really sad. And all that happened is that it nearly destroyed the Australian cinema audience
Industry.
for Australian films. Because how many times do you want to be told the world is terrible, it's all your fault? But it seems to have changed now. The end of the millennials seem to be more interested, as young people are, in making money. And how do you make money? Well, you write something that's going to attract an audience, not for a good lecture. Like, oh, you know, they're going to turn up to this independent cinema and they're going to be told. You know, certainly more of the students I'm working with at TAFE in New South Wales, and also with my private courses and in the States and UK, even in the States, they kind of wobbled for a while, but now they're coming back and they just want to make something entertaining using genre. So I teach genre as well to young writers, saying, this is how a horror film works. There are things that every horror film has to do. And whether it's aliens in space or whether it's Reagan sitting in a bed spewing green vomit, which is a little bit sci-fi as well, there are things they both have in common. They have characteristics that once you know them are easily recognizable. So that way you're writing a horror film that's actually a horror film, as opposed to, as young people, as we did, try to reinvent the whole game, and only when they turn 30 do they realize, oh no, this has been done before. Doug Anthony Allstas, we thought we were reinventing the whole game. And then I sat and watched Marx Brothers. I went, oh, damn it. We've got the chatty, wordy, sarcastic guy who's not afraid of, you know, anyone slightly taller. We've got the silent idiot on the guitar. And yeah, we've got Others Chicho, who's just, I'll have what he's having.
Yeah.
And so, oh man, you can imagine. Well, actually, I was quite excited because I thought we must be on the right track. But it's
when you realize what you've done just works and has always worked.
It does, yeah. And it doesn't matter whether you do it in a vacuum, because we all met in Canberra, which is a vacuum of everything, including willpower. Yeah, we met in a vacuum, and lo and behold, organically, we created our own twisted Marx Brothers. So, I mean, there are always new ideas, but if they're really good ideas and they really work, they're based in stuff that goes way back to before Aristotle. Aristotle was only writing about this stuff that had been happening for 1,000 years. So he just wrote down, it seems to me that stories have some sort of heroic character, often called Jason. And he goes on an adventure, and they, you know, this was from the epic poems of his era. Thousands of years ago, he wrote that down, and it still works, as in Star Wars. The book is Poetics, if you're interested. It's only like 60 pages long. And the first 2 chapters are basically saying things like, what is a word? A word is part of a sentence which makes up a yada, yada, yada. So he's actually explaining language. Then he does a little bit about grammar. And then he says, so what's a story? And he was the one the first one to write that a story has a beginning, a middle, and an end. I'm still reading, still meeting screenwriting students who challenge that and say, well, yeah, but, sure, it's got a beginning, but maybe the beginning's at the end. It doesn't matter. There's story and there's plot, and a story has a beginning, whether it's at the end or not. Yeah, but I think I'm writing a script. I don't really feel it's got an end. I want to leave it open. I say, okay, that's good. So what time is the bus to Centrelink? Because who's going to go and see an open-ended film outside of independent cinema? If you're watching Stan, you don't go, no, I want to see the unresolved section. Unresolved stories where there's movie after movie, TV show after that don't exist because it's bad writing. And so if people, if you're watching now and you want to write a story, make sure you work out what the ending is before you start, or, it'll take a year for you to realize that you've wasted a year.
You're making me think of a couple of Australian films from the 80s and 90s where I really enjoyed 75% of them, and then the movie finished and I went, what did you just do to me? Why? Everything was set up for a resolution, and then you went, no resolution. And it's like, you can't structure something to build to a resolution and then not resolve it. It's just like, my God.
We've had a beginning. We've got a problem. There are complications. There are conflicts. There are this and that. And what? Yeah.
Oh, it's even worse when they lay out the cards in front of you saying, here's the obvious resolution, and then they don't do it.
Well, and the main thing is they don't do it, but they don't put anything meaningful in its place.
That's what I mean. Yeah.
There's just, where did they go? Yeah,
I've got a follow-up question on what you were saying. With the comedy, what happened to comedy movies? In the mid-2000s, we got a barrage of those terrible comedy films, like the movies. You remember the superhero movie and date movie and all that kind of crap came out.
Yeah.
And then just comedy movies that were just comedy movies. I love them. I sometimes, with the world when it's crap, you want to just put on something fun, and that's why I love the Naked Gun films and stuff like that.
But
it just completely dried up. It's only in the last couple of years I've started seeing it slowly creep back.
Yeah, there's a new scary movie, number 6, coming up.
Mm-hmm. And we got Spaceballs 2 coming up. We had Naked Gun last year as well.
Exciting. Yeah, we saw Naked Gun. There are a couple of things going on. One is that those are parody films, which means if you're doing, say, the superhero parody movie, you've got to have all the special effects, all the costumes. Otherwise, it's people with cardboard boxes making fools of themselves. So they're quite expensive to make. A bit like a sketch TV show can be quite expensive because you need to make a cop station, which even if it's out of cardboard, you've got to pay designers, someone to stand there holding the cardboard up while you're shooting it. Because they're more pricey than, your average drama, it adds a bit of pressure to it, and it needs that hype. Like Flying High and Naked Gun came out with hype because the audience was still really tuned into this stuff. But I think people have so much choice now, even with comedies, that producers look at the extra expense of all this parodying, all this copying of the original material and say it's very expensive. Can't you just write me a joke? But for comedies generally, as usual, films like Bridesmaids with Rose Byrne, Aussie,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
all those great actors do really well, and they come back 2 years later for girls' night out movie sessions, and comedies do break through, but again, it's harder. And if you look at the recent release of Liam Neeson's Naked Gun film with Pamela Anderson, it's a funny movie. It's a funny movie.
Mhm.
No stars in the Australian.
Oh really? Yeah, yeah.
How do you give a film no stars? The answer is very simple. The reviewer is unaware of how it works and unaware that Naked Gun is a genre of its own within comedy called parody. They're just unaware. Just go, I don't know. There was some dirty jokes in there, and I just don't think that's appropriate. But it's when films really break through, unless people are wearing spandex and flying around at huge expense.
Oh right, yeah, the superhero genres and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. In Australia, they're comedies. Australian comedies. 15 of the top 20 Australian box office hits of all time made in Australia are comedies. And
Wow. Okay.
Everybody knows their name. Well, name the top 10 Australian drama films. Okay, now that we've had the uncomfortable pause, name half a dozen Australian comedy movies.
Yeah, you're going to
Yeah,
get
easy.
Crocodile
Yeah.
Dundee, Priscilla, Muriel's Wedding.
Strictly Ballroom.
They roll off the tongue much more easily.
Yeah. Whereas the dramas are dramatic. And so only 5 of them are still in the top 20. And they're ones with lots of jokes, like Gallipoli, even though the ending is, oh my God, everybody dies. But up till then, it's just boys being stupid in a foreign country.
Yeah.
And it's funny. See you later, not if I see you first. It's one of the first jokes in it. And there are gags and funny scenes. And then we, see the awful truth of that battle in Gallipoli. So I kept going on about it, and hopefully we'll get some new writers coming through with good stuff. The last film that really cracked it in Australia was Kenny, and how long ago was that?
Yeah, gosh, that was almost 20 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah. So it's what happens when people get nervous about comedies, because you can tread on people's toes, but also if you're a government funding body, who knows what Kenny 2 is going to say? The sequel to Kenny is just, the reflux. Kenny, the reflux. You don't quite know. And there might be people out there who experience reflux, and they're taxpayers. So why don't we just go with this, worthy drama?
Yeah.
Red Dog did all right, and that was 2011.
Which one?
Red Dog.
Yeah, Red Dog did hugely well. And it was,
Family movie.
yeah, it was kind of a very light comic story. It wasn't as funny as something like Kenny, where you're laughing.
No.
Yeah.
You're watching it through your fingers going, oh my God, this is so uncomfortable. But yeah, Australians, we're far more relaxed than the cinema industry thinks. And we just want to go out and have a bit of fun, and later on have a couple of beers and watch it again on the streamers. The power of it is, the power of comedy is it changes the way people think. Australia voted for gay marriage, I contend, to a great extent because people watched Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, and thought, oh, yeah, no, that's true. It's all right. It's all right.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
what's Guy Pearce? And, that guy Zod from Star Wars, they seem happy.
Superman, yeah.
Yeah. And that's what makes it very powerful without having to speak its name. Because if people are laughing with a bunch of gay guys on a bus, if somebody says, would you mind if these people married each other? And people go, oh, actually, no, that was good fun. Bill Hunter was in that. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a blokey bloke. He's okay with everything.
All the marching in the street and banging drums, writing stern articles in newspapers, which Australians don't read. It's a waste of time. But if you want to make a point, you make a funny movie about it, or funny TV show, or even just a TikTok sketch. And the next thing you know, so when Australia joins the Iranian war, which might take a while, but when we do, because we always do, if you want to fight it, write something funny about it, because then no politician can stand up without someone shouting out whatever your punchline is.
Oh God, I love
that.
that.
It was constant mockery of the Afghanistan and Iraq war that turned us all against it over the years, I think eventually as well,
It's what got rid of Tony Abbott. He bit that onion, and after that, he was a joke. And that's lethal in politics. People can be scared of you. They can hate you. If they're giggling at you, going, it's Onion Boy. Oh, yeah.
Truly a great moment.
Yeah, it's although that said, Stephen Colbert made absolutely no difference in how Americans voted. Because, I mean, look what happened. So there are limits to political satire, but if you think more generally, or if you get above it a bit, then you do have Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, followed 15 years later by the gay marriage.
The Colbert problem was the fact that it was every single day.
Yeah.
It just lost its humor. When you're telling a joke over and over, it just stopped being funny.
It's very hard to be.
Yeah.
Preaching to the choir as well.
About Trump.
It felt like sometimes he was just nitpicking on little things just so he could include Trump in the conversation.
Yeah. And it split the audience, and so then you got half as many people watching, and of course it gets taken off because Letterman managed to hold the whole thing together by never really letting us know what he thought, although he's Californian. We kind of know what he thinks, but he just managed to talk about other stuff. So there are limits to what political satire can do, but comedy itself can quietly, happily change the way people look at social change. And it's so, I mean, I would say now is the time to make the movie about things like polyamory. Polyamory would be a great topic for a movie. I got no interest. I prefer car chases and shootouts and jokes, but a group of people who are all highly committed to each other, who all love each other and are all sleeping with each other, it's going to be as funny and awkward and shocking as Kramer versus Kramer.
Wow, okay, yeah.
And it's the next wave you watch when right-wing radio jocks get tired of this trans thing. And do we have to cover this again? everybody's bored with trans, as they should be.
Mm-hmm.
It's boring. I don't care what people have in their pants. The next thing will be polyamory, because one of the famous actors or one of our pop stars or one of our cricketers will do an interview where they say, well, of course, I've got 2 husbands and 3 wives. We've been together for 20 years. We're already happy. And what we want is the right to leave what we own to each other without it being questioned.
Oh, okay. I get you. Yeah.
Can you imagine right-wing sharks going on? Because also, it's a bit like, anything like that, where they want to do. I could do that for a week. I could have 3 wives for a week. That'd be all right. Just ignore the fact that there are other guys in the house. I could do that. So it's tempting, but then they step back and go, oh, the boss says, Rupert says, we don't like it.
Yeah.
And then they've got to come up with all the reasons why polyamory is the end of the world. But if we've done gay marriage, it's funny that nobody, even in the gay marriage movement, spoke about having more than one spouse. Like gay marriage between 2 people, that's a little old-fashioned. I've got polyamorous mates who've been together as their little cluster for, God, it must be 30 years. And they're all grown up, and I don't know how it all works. I don't know if they do a bonking calendar. But they're no more stressed or frustrated than anyone else in any other kind of relationship.
We've got Jack Thompson famously maintained a polyamorous relationship for decades.
Yeah, with twins. Oh, that was, being a teenager, seeing that happen, it was like, well, that seems normal. Jack Thompson's doing it. So but you watch, it'll set fire to the radio. They're just not thinking about it at the moment. We just need an example for them to fight against. And then they'll be jumping all over it. And it's the end of what? What's it the end of? It's the end of the family, or like 50% of families, a bit like those.
Yeah.
It was like how we never heard much about trans on the radio, from the right-wing radio, before the gay marriage vote went through. And once that went through, it was like, next target, please,
Yeah, what else have we got? But people are pretty tired of it now. We've worked out, and really, I don't watch sport or understand. I don't have the RAM for sport, but I don't lose sleep ever that somebody might be born with a different gender who's just really good at female boxing, like that dude in the Olympics. I don't care about that stuff. And they all hold on to that like that's important, whereas I don't really care. And for something like that, I know it's controversial, but I think apathy is the best way to deal with it. Just to say, actually, it's not really my problem. So I'm sure they'll all work it out. Apathy, I wrote in a novel I wrote, the first quote is that, what is it? Apathy is the most potent force in a democracy. If you can tap into it, the world is yours. Which is how most Australian governments get elected. Don't like that one. We'll just do that one. It might be easier. So hopefully trans people can just go do whatever they do, live their lives, and so long as they don't try to run onto a sport field, which I don't care about, the shock jocks will have to pick on someone else who's being perfectly reasonable and living the way they want to live.
They're giving, the people on Epstein Island more of a break than they are the trans people,
Yeah, yeah. And, I'm not so sure about some of those either. It's like, they're pretty big boots for a girl. But yeah. So anyway, we've wandered off topic. You're Paul.
Yeah, we
That's okay.
what happened
We're
to
having a
Star Wars?
conversation.
Yeah. And by the way, there are plenty of trans characters in Star Wars. Yeah, we got there.
Yeah, we're back again. Yeah.
Actually, I was going to ask you about different genre because you mentioned horror movies at one point and maybe Australian stuff coming back. Did you see the Australian horror movies done by the twin brothers, the Philippines, that Talk to Me and Bring Her Back? What did you think of those?
They're fantastic. And
I love them.
I don't think we'll ever see them again. I think they'll be snuffled up by Hollywood.
Yeah.
And they've already made a second film, and it'll be like the Australian guys who came up with the Saw franchise.
Yeah.
And there's something about Australian horror that's just a little bit more gritty. That's just, I don't know, I think we have an impatience in Australia with bull twang.
Yeah.
So we're not so into people going, "Oh, did you feel that? Did you hear that?" We want to see it, and we want to see it all over the house.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to also admit, I have a soft spot for the Philippou brothers. They 10 years on YouTube just doing their slapsticky stunt stuff and having a wild old time. And then they took a chance to do a feature film, and they killed it.
Yeah. And it's a really simple idea. There've been a few like this, including Final Destination, where the antagonist, like the monster, is invisible and it's all around us, like the Smile films. It's not actually a person. You can't actually kill it in Final Destination, which has each film is not the final destination because there's another one coming. But each one, it's just the enemy is death.
Yeah.
So it's a different kind of monster. But this will be a phase, and then someone will come up with something else. But yeah, I think it's important for Australian screenwriters to look at what's on offer on Netflix and Paramount and Stan, not Apple, because they've got that, it's not good.
It's a weird way to, it's a weird selection of the Apple stuff. Yeah.
See what people are watching. Because those machines, the streamers, are only responsive to what people want to watch. And they have no particular care about what it is. So if you have a look, you'll see, there are thrillers, quite often the wrong nurse, the wrong doctor, the wrong boyfriend, and each of them follows a similar pattern.
Mm-hmm.
There's something wrong with your boyfriend. Well, whoever says that gets killed. And away we go. So thrillers really are popular. Cop drama, very popular. We've got, CSI and all those
detective shows. Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah, and historical stuff, adaptations instead
serial
of
killers.
Serial killers, and also horror comedies like 100 Bloody Acres and those kind of Australian films, or Shaun of the Dead, go a long way. So if you are trying to think of something you want to write, then you don't have to think too hard. Pick a genre. Because no one's going to say, that's the trouble. That's the trouble with Smile. Why? Well, it's just Alien. Oh, that's the trouble with Final Destination. Oh, it's just like The Exorcist. They have similar DNA, but what grows could be anything from a cabbage to a carrot to a goat. And so it is with science fiction. Science fiction writers have to start thinking about the future. And also the deep, dim, dark past. And if they do that, the audience is really ready. And if they can make it funny, they have a 75% chance of success. If they want to make it dramatic, they've got a 25% chance of success.
Mm-hmm.
So write comedy.
I've heard you say that before, actually, in one of your talks about your course. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they've got to do it. They have to. And if they don't, by the time they're 35, they're no longer writing scripts. But it's it's very exciting. And it's great to talk to a couple of guys about Star Wars.
Yes, I mean, because Charlie has his Laserdisc shop. The most sought after Laserdiscs, I think, are the original Star Wars Laserdiscs.
Yeah, that's why I got you on, was the Star Wars connection. And then, as we talked about in the emails, you never were around long enough to stick in one spot to start getting into Laserdiscs. But I thought, hey, I'll get you on anyway, and we'll talk about Star Wars. That's great,
That version of A New Hope you've got, the Star Wars first film, is before they stepped in and started using
one of the reasons it's so sought after is it is the original theatrical release.
Yeah, because
with the original mono soundtrack.
Oh yeah, George Lucas wants to get his hands on your New Hope Laserdisc so he can destroy it.
Take him away.
Yeah, thanks, George.
Well, it seems up until next year, when they re-release the original first, they got what they call a composite pressing, where they got the original film where it came off straight off the camera, and then they've got the second generation, and it looks incredible. The amount of detail they've brought back in compared to the 4K version that they've got available now, it's night and day. And so up until then, the best way was the Laserdisc, but now it's becoming, I'm looking forward to them bringing out a proper new version with nice, clear visuals and stuff like that. Yeah.
And they can now. They have the technology. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a mate of mine had Laserdiscs and had some great movies there, picked them up in Japan. But of course, there are other grown-up Laserdiscs.
So these are my Star Wars collection, and I haven't got the best Star Wars collection. I've held on to what I like. Everyone has their own things that they like, and I didn't really want the first pressing. I wanted the one with the surround sound and stuff like that. So I went with the 1995 version. So this is the one right before they did all the extra CGI. So it still has the interviews with George Lucas, and it still has the THX and the 5.1, but it doesn't have, the singing bit in Return of the Jedi with that, in Jabba's palace, where they have that.
Oh, yeah. And we don't need that stuff.
Song.
That is gold you're holding up there. That is, oh, man.
It's really nice, though, yeah. And I really like the matching covers. They look really nice on Laserdisc, and they if you have a copy and you want to put it up on your wall and stuff, they look really great together, all three of them.
Yeah, I love that they're not even calling that A New Hope. That's just Star Wars.
Yes, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And then you've got the old ones as well.
Ewok Adventure.
Ewok Adventure. Yeah, which was, where they did it for kids, but you can still have fun.
From Japan, we've got the making of Return of the Jedi. This is all about the making of all the creatures and stuff like that was done.
That is awesome.
What's that one? Special effects of The Empire Strikes Back.
See, Charlie, even just the object itself
is
wonderful.
Yeah, they look great, don't they? You know.
Open it up and
I remember listening to this on record as a kid. Because C3PO was the host and took you through and would talk to R2D2 and talk about the making of Star Wars and stuff like that. Yeah, just gorgeous. And they keep on going up and up in price. I bought these for $10 back in 2009, and now they're like $70-$80 each, you know.
God almighty.
Yeah, and this is from a box set. The Japanese definitive edition that came out in 1993, and I actually sold off the box set and kept the thing because I had no interest in the book. There was a book that came with it that talked about the history of George Lucas and talked about all the other movies that he made, like the one with the car that he did with Francis Ford Coppola.
The
American
first one.
Graffiti?
THX.
No, he did THX as well.
No.
What's the name of the car one?
American Graffiti with
Ronnie
Ron
Howard.
Howard and Harrison Ford as the bad guy.
Tucker, The Man and His Dream.
Oh,
1988.
Okay. You were talking a completely different genre. I was
at
thinking
the other end of the pool.
Yeah, you were right at the start of his. Yeah, I'm thinking right in the middle. Yeah. So
they're
talked
great.
about different films.
Just that photo of George standing amongst all the
all the toys. Yeah, all the models.
Amazing.
Yeah, not toys. Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice cover, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. And the guts, I think, for him when signing the contracts to say, thanks for giving me all the millions for my movie. Do you mind if I have the merchandise? Just the guts of him knowing what he was going to do and not telling them how much money they were going to be missing out on. And they said, oh, yeah, merchandise. I suppose it's stickers for school bags. Let him have it. And
Yeah.
a whole new empire is built. They're just wonderful. Yeah.
And I've got a little Tim Ferguson collection here as well. I pulled out. I went to my DVD collection and pulled out all my stuff that has you in there. Of course, we've got your movie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And Morgan just had a baby.
Oh really?
Funky Squad.
Yeah.
You know, I still maintain it was a real TV show, and you don't get any pushback.
I love the radio plays. Do you remember how it was a radio play before it became? Yeah, I used to find the radio plays hilarious. You know, the show was great. What I loved with the use of the ads, you had these real life ads in the show. It was so funny.
That's the magic of Tom and Santo Chilaro together.
Oh yes, yeah.
They're just gags.
Mm. A lot of my comedy influences come from the Late Show and stuff like that. Since I was a kid.
Yeah. Still geniuses, utopias.
Yeah,
the best takedown of Australian bureaucracy.
Yeah, they were brilliant in so many different projects as well, from the Dish to the Castle. Yeah. Any questions for Ben? Or Utopia? Like, there's so many great projects they did.
Yeah, and there are 4 of them, and they've worked together all this time. It's quite extraordinary. It's kind of a creative comedy polyamory.
It must have been great being brought in on polyamory, back to a polyamory again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It all connects. And you held up Das Kapital, which is apart from I think one kids show, there it is. Apart from one kids show, Australia's only science fiction comedy.
Farscape.
Farscape was great. The Dave Kemper, the EP, is he's highly American, but really very engaging kind of guy. But yeah, we wanted to make a science fiction that was political because of Francis Fukuyama saying that history was going to come to an end. The world was going to be made of happy democracies. It was an article he wrote in Time magazine. Everybody thought, oh, wow, isn't that wonderful? And we thought, well, taken to its logical conclusion, you're going to have to get everything good and put it somewhere safe. And away it went. But yeah, there is... Das Kapital is certainly the second series is...
That's the one in space. Mm.
Yeah, that's where the submarine gets blown into space and we're all still alive. We were very lucky to have an extraordinary design team, which is now removed from the ABC, but we had animators, designers. We have to make it look like a spaceship.
Oh, and it was edited so well. I love the editing in that show. It's so fast and zany and just, it connects so well with your humor.
And we had a roof in the studio, a parachute, which goes against all safety, I'm sure, because it's a parachute just above the lights. Okay, well, I think we're all sorted. But it meant that we were in a TV studio, multicam studio, that actually seemed to have a roof. No one had done that before. So it was all about doing whatever people have done before. Let's try something else. Some things didn't work, but otherwise they were, and even if it didn't work, you had to stand back and say, well, you know, they're trying to make Paul McDermott marry a dinosaur. It's a flawed enterprise. And or there's Feidler who's fallen in love with a mermaid. Okay. But it would be great to see more stuff, which is trying stuff designed to be completely new, but I'm not sure.
So what did you think of Tenacious D?
Yeah, Tenacious D.
I felt like they kind of picked up where you guys left off a bit, in a sense.
Yeah.
You know?
And their songs are funny and
And the movie's pretty good too.
Yep. And they've just, in fact, some of their songs are hilarious. So it's a similar, I think a similar way of looking at the possibilities and saying, no, we want more. Whereas trying to play it safe doesn't really get you too far because it's what everybody else is doing. So you need to take that extra step into the dark and ask the question, what do we do next? Well, let's put the submarine into space. Has that been done before? No. Okay, that'll do. And if it's good timing and, and luck plays a lot of it, but also, we had some great people working on a show like that, you can get away with it. And then you can do another series and get away with that too. But of course, you've got to balance what the audience might want against what you want to give them. But after that, you go for it. Do something people just haven't tried.
That's how you get new things, yeah.
Well, like a podcast talking about laser discs.
Yeah.
Exactly.
People haven't tried it.
Well, it started off just us promoting me. Each week, I wanted to share some of the discs that I was selling because I put up 30 discs onto my shop every Friday. And that way people come back each week rather than just uploading the whole lot in one hit and, people picking through and end up being like an op shop where there's only James Last and Kamal left over, So instead, I like to, have everything, loaded in, and week by week I'll release stuff. And before that, the day before, I'll do a video. And me and Angry started talking about some of the movies that are coming out. And I'm enjoying the video more than I am the shop at the moment. We are having so much fun making the show.
Yeah, that's great. But I don't have to tell you, there is a worldwide audience interested in this.
Yeah.
And there will be not just in Japan. There'll be, I don't know, an Inuit Eskimo teenager who goes, "This is the stuff I like. My dad used to have these." Like, they're everywhere.
Well, that's why we wanted a worldwide celebrity like you to come on, you see.
Right. The
Have a
audience.
chat with us.
The audience, a bit like business in RoboCop, the audience is where you find it.
Okay, yeah.
Don't get me started on the comedy industry, because they go to the places where the audience is queued up, ready to watch comedy, whereas have they not thought of performing to the queue? Hi, they wouldn't let me on tonight, but I'm going to give you 5 minutes of stand-up. But
grab an audience.
Yeah. You just go find them. You go busking. You go, I don't know. It's what TikTok's for. So
yeah, I've selected a whole bunch of comedy laserdiscs to talk about, but I don't think we've got enough time left. I think we've pretty much chewed through that hour.
Just got so engaged in the conversation. Plans out window.
Yeah, this is going to be impossible to edit down. It's just a
do it unedited. Run it unedited.
Yeah, I don't think we need to. Yeah, I think
do it with time swipes, or put out two.
Yeah, like Star Wipes, or like they do with Star Wars. Yeah.
The version you can watch on the train heading home, and the version you can watch when you've got a Sunday spare.
While you're cleaning the house, in the background.
Yeah.
A lot of people actually tell me they listen to their show while they're like lying in bed or just chilling out or winding down, because it's a very casual, laid back show. We don't always demand your attention and stuff like that.
Yeah, not built on outrage. It's just built on interest and passion for the form.
But thank you so much for coming on, Tim. It's been great having you here.
Thanks for having me. This is my favorite topics, is polyamory and Star Wars.
Yeah. I've got a friend of mine. We're big on Doctor Who as well. And I know that you are. I've heard rumors that you've been caught at a few Doctor Who conventions and stuff like that.
Yeah, so, I went on tour with Colin Baker and Sylvester around Australia, and Katie Manning as well, who played Jo with John Pertwee. Yeah, we went around Australia, around New Zealand. It was great fun. Just turn up, and they're Doctor Who nerds, and there are big theatres of them. There are thousands. Even in New Zealand, it was the biggest theatre in town, packed with people all wearing long scarves. And it's when you think about it, when I was growing up, afternoon television included Doctor Who and The Goodies and Kenny Everett.
Wow.
None of it was educational, but it changed the way we thought the world worked. If Kenny Everett is just normal afternoon TV, then the world is a very different place to what you think. So
yeah, hopefully we can get you on another time. I love this chat, and if you're up for it, you're more than welcome here anytime. It's been great. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Charlie. We'll do several hours. We'll do like the 2-day version.
we just keep going.
Yeah, it's going. Thanks, guys. And
Thanks
thanks
again, Tim.
everyone.
Awesome chat. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you for watching, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
All right, yeah. So that's the edit. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, I'm so wrapped. That went great.
Yeah, I think we got away with it. I mentioned the war,
Yeah.
but
Yeah, I think you got away with it. Yeah, yeah. Thank
Yeah,
you
it's
for the little
exciting.
Faulty Towers quote there. Yep.
You know, somebody wants that episode not to be available because
Really?
it
Yeah.
might upset German people.
So is it the Germans that don't want it available?
No,
Because they don't
people
want to talk
only
about the war.
get offended on other people's behalves.
Oh,
But
right, of course, yeah.
I mentioned the war, but I think I got away with it. There's something people, well, there are some things you can't laugh at.
Mm.
A mate of mine was told on Facebook there was something about some silly Nazi comic or something. Someone said, "You can't laugh at this stuff." He called me and said, "Well, what do I say now?" And I say, "You know what to play. Play one of our favorite songs." And so the response was "Springtime for Hitler and Germany." Because what do the Nazis hate the most? Being laughed at.
It takes away their seriousness. Yeah.
Yeah, it's biting the onion. You're no longer the scary Tony Abbott. You're that onion biting guy in the speed up. But yeah.
That was great. I'm wrapped. That went so well.
Yep.
Thanks, guys. You have a great afternoon, and best of luck with the podcast. We'll do it again next year if you like. We can, I don't know, talk about what's wrong with the audience.
Yeah.
You should always insult the audience.
Yeah. Thanks heaps.
No worries. Thank you so much
All
for
right,
coming on.
I'm going to go get some lunch. Thanks again, Tim. It was really
Thanks,
awesome.
guys. Well done. Carry on.
Switching off new. You are totally